US officials are also warning that China could agree to Russia's request for military and economic assistance. It's feared the move could prolong the war in Ukraine. Sky News Washington correspondent Annalise Nielsen joins us live now. Annalise, what's the latest in this? Because these were reports yesterday that the US was warning this would happen. China says it's disinformation. What's the truth?
Well, I would rely on the US readouts for this more than what the Chinese are saying. But what we have seen from the US is an approach right throughout the Ukraine conflict to share intelligence when they can. But in an indication of just how sensitive this is, we're not seeing names put to it. It's US officials saying that they're concerned that these are the reports. And now we've had this meeting between the National Security Adviser Jake Sullivan and his Chinese counterpart in Rome. They've said that the meeting lasted several hours, and the Americans have said it got quite intense at times as they were talking about this approach. Now, there hasn't been any confirmation that China has agreed to provide either military support or economic relief, but it would be within China's interests to provide that economic relief, given it would be two ways. What we have seen from America is a warning to the Chinese that if they do go ahead with this, there will be repercussions not just from America, but from its allies around the world.
The National Security Advisor and our delegation raised directly and very clearly our concerns about the PRC's support to Russia in the wake of the invasion and the implications that any such support would have for the PRC's relationship not only with us, but for its relationships around the world.
Laura, the other aspect to this is the fact that Russia is looking for support because this has dragged on far longer than they would have expected, and it's costing them a lot more as well. At the same time, this has also been a question for the United States. How is this impacting them when this is going on longer than it was expected as well? They were asked today about how these sanctions have played out, whether they could have done more sooner, and whether the US does actually have any more cards to play.
You're asking us to believe is that there are severe consequences that you haven't used yet, but that are not on the no list.
Correct.
Okay, but you won't tell us what kinds of things those might be.
We're going to have those conversations privately through our national security team and with our partners around the world.
Right now, the only thing that's underway is this change to Russia's status within the World Trade Organization, that they'd lose their preferred member status, and that would mean that countries around the world could raise tariffs against them that they couldn't have otherwise. But there doesn't seem to be any other really big sanctions that America could pull out of its hat. But of course, the night's still young. We are also seeing reports of potentially the president visiting Europe to try and shore up support among NATO allies as this goes on.
Annalise, thank you.